The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. Overseas Filipino workers in Hong Kong and Taiwan are set to receive an increase in their wages. Migrant Workers Officer in Charge Hans Kakdak told the big story that Taiwan mandated a 4.5% increase in minimum wage of select workers. This translates to a nearly 2,000 peso increase per month. In Hong Kong, OFWs will receive an additional pay of about 1,100 pesos.
We project that 123,768 factory workers, most Filipinos in Taiwan are factory workers, will benefit from this. And as for Hong Kong, sa Hong Kong naman, it's the foreign domestic workers who stand to benefit from the increase of the minimum wage. 196,000 Filipino domestic workers in Hong Kong will stand to benefit.
Kakdak is also hopeful that some 10,000 OFWs in Saudi Arabia will finally get their unpaid wages by the first half of 2024.
But I'm looking forward to meet our Saudi counterparts very soon, this month of January. It's really not just the money claims that we can talk about. We can talk about domestic worker protection as well, enhancing systems and processes, review of contracts, and so on and so forth. We are looking toward the possible higher job demand in Saudi.
Meantime, the Philippines is now the country with the highest average time spent on Pornhub. This year, Filipinos spent approximately 11 minutes and 15 seconds per visit on the site. This is an increase of 16 seconds per visit compared to the previous year. In viewer demographics, there were more Filipino female visitors to the pornography video sharing website. 58% of those who logged on to Pornhubs were Pinays. In sports, TNT guard Mikey Williams is reportedly warming up to the idea of suiting up for the Tropang Giga again. According to a Spin.ph report, the camp of Williams intends to talk only to Chot Reyes. Reyes is currently the senior consultant of the team and intends to return as head coach next conference. Relations between both camps soured when they didn't agree on new contract terms after Williams asked for a renegotiation. The stalemate resulted in TNT officially terminating the contract of the two-time finals MVP. TNT is off to a so-so start in the new season amid injuries and other concerns. The Tropang Giga so far carries a 4-5 win-loss record. Japanese fighter Naomi Osaka is still hungry for more success, even after becoming the undisputed world champion in two weight classes. Inoue's most recent victim was Pinoy boxer Marlon Tapales to unify 4 super bantamweight belts. The Pug's strong right straight knocked out Tapales in the 10th round. The Japanese slugger is the second boxer to unify 4 world titles in 2 different weight divisions. Now Inoue is undefeated in 26 fights. The 30-year-old plans to continue fighting until he's 35 if he remains at the top of his game. The Makati Football Club is expanding its program to Cebu City next year. It wants to grow the sport in the Queen City of the South. Makati FC believes this will be a good platform for the youth in the area. This year, the team won the overall title in the JSSL Singapore Professional Academy Sevens, which is touted as the biggest youth tournament in Asia. They also appeared in the girls under-14 division final of the Gothia World Youth Cup in Sweden last July. Makati FC will have monthly offerings where registrants can have once to thrice a week or even unlimited sessions. This is the game on One News Now. We'll be back after a short break. Stay with us. still watching the game on One News Now, I'm Denise Tan. Thanks for staying with us. The Meralco Bolts lost to the Seoul SK Knights in the East Asia Super League. The Bolts played catch-up most of the game until a fourth quarter comeback made it interesting. Meralco had one last shot to steal the win, but Chris Banquero failed to connect with import Prince Ibe that resulted in a turnover. This effectively iced the game with the Knights prevailing 81-80. Meralco fell to a 1-3 win-loss late and now has to win their last two assignments for a shot at landing a playoff spot. The Knights meanwhile improved to a 2-2 slate. Meralco plunges back into EASL action on January 3 against the New Taipei Kings. Spanish tennis star Carlos Alcaraz rallied to beat world number 1 Novak Djokovic in a hard-fought exhibition match in Riyadh. Alcaraz went down a set but got right back on track to pull off a 4-6, 6-4, 6-4 win. A string of errors by Djokovic created an opening for the Spaniard to eventually take the match. The game was a preview to January's Australian Open as the world's top two players get into gear for the 2024 season. They played each other this year where Djokovic knocked out Alcaraz in the French Open while Carlos got the best of the Serb in the Wimbledon final. Djokovic then defeated him in Cincinnati and again at the ATP Finals. Still, Alcaraz relishes matching up with one of his idols.
I grew up watching him winning the big tournaments, and I always dream about being in this position, playing against him face to face. I'm really happy to be able to do that and hopefully keep going.
Former world number 1 Naomi Osaka returned to practice court following a 15-month break. The Japanese is back in the fold to prepare for next week's Brisbane International. The tournament serves as a warm-up event for the Australian Open in Melbourne, which begins on January 14. The 25-year-old four-time Grand Slam champ last played a WTA tournament at the Pan-Pacific Open in Tokyo in September of 2022. There, she pulled out of her second-round match due to illness. Then, Osaka and American rapper Bo Corday became parents to daughter Shai in July. Kenyan capital Nairobi is honing future fencers in the streets. The Chavora Mitani Fencing Club brings together a group of teenagers to take turns poking or scoring hits on each other. Aged between 15 and 18 years old, the group is composed of 2 girls and 6 boys. They have been learning and practicing fencing since 2021 after they were given space for free. The sport isn't popular in Kenya, but some kids took it up to keep themselves busy and out of the streets. And they're getting the best out of the experience with mentor Isaac Mburu, coach of the Kenyan national team himself.
I never wanted to see any youth in the life that I lived. You understand? That's why you see that we are going so hard in pulling in more youths, just trying to bring them in and into this safe space, whereby we call it, because they get mentored.
Check out more stories at onesports.ph. Meantime, we bring you the day's biggest headlines later at 6. See you then. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News.